This episode is sponsored by Smart Travel, a new podcast from NerdWallet. So we've all got them, haven't we? That one friend who always finds the best travel deals, who always picks the right cars for points, and who somehow ends up in first class while you're back in the middle seat in coach. Well, Smart Travel is like that friend, but in podcast form. They cover all things travel finance, like how to book busy season trips without that busy season sticker shock that we all hate, how to avoid paying for upgrades you won't use, and how travel advisors can snag secret perks you didn't even know how to ask for. How useful is all of that. So travel smarter and spend less with help from NerdWallet. Follow Smart Travel wherever you get your podcasts. Armchair Explorer is a part of the Voyescape podcast network. Check out all of their shows from around the world at voyescape.com. So picture this. I'm under the water and I am completely surrounded by sharks. There are sharks beneath me. There's like 2 sharks swimming beneath me. There's sharks in front of me. There's 2 or 3 behind me. And there's sharks above me. I am in the middle of a school of sharks. And basically, I feel amazing. I feel like there's nothing to be afraid of. Like now that I'm in their environment, I see that they're just like these beautiful, amazing animals that are actually nothing to be scared of. And I'm just swimming along with this like school of sharks. And I feel so enraptured in that moment that I decide to like turn and swim to one of the sharks and touch it on its back. Oh my God. And as I approach it, it just suddenly turns its head, boom, and just like stares and goes right at me head on. Just before it comes at me, like we're staring eye in eye, it turns off again. It was just like a warning, but it was like message received.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You weren't in a shark cage?
No, I was scuba diving.
You were just swimming with them.
Oh yeah.
That is so cool, man.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
So anyway, I'm telling you that because later on we're going to hear about one of the craziest shark attacks and most amazing shark stories you'll ever hear.
Holy cow. I cannot wait for that. But what podcast are we listening to right now, bro?
I don't know. Let's get on with it. Hey guys, welcome to Armchair Explorer. I'm super excited to be here for this December Pathways episode. I'm Aaron Millar. I'm a travel writer, of course, and I'm here with lead producer at Armchair Productions, Jason Paton. How you doing, Jason?
Howdy.
Howdy doody. The Pathways, if you're not familiar, if you haven't listened to any of them before, they're basically when Jason and I share what's coming up for the month ahead. We have lots of different types of episodes, from our immersion episodes, which are the stuff that we record on location in the field, to our adventure episodes. It's like our signature stuff, interviews, bucket lists, all that kind of stuff. It's a little bit like a couple of buddies just talking stuff. We're going to share some clips, share some stories, all that fun stuff. We have a lot of great stuff coming up. But before we get into that, and not to toot my own trumpet, Charles... But I will. For you. But I will. Oh, sorry. Did I drop this? We won an award. We won the British Guild of Travel Writers Travel Broadcast of the Year 2024. Super honored to win that. So, yeah, it was great. And it was for our Utah Life Elevated series.
Oh, love that series.
Yeah. If you haven't checked out that series yet, guys, go back on the feed. Check it out right now. There's some really fun ones. Jason, why don't you tell us what we have coming up first today?
Well, I'm so excited to go back to Lola, one of the craziest trips that we've ever taken over to Saudi Arabia. We've done a couple episodes over there now, but this one's a little different. And we leave the Alula Valley, the oasis itself. And for the first time on our trip, we took a road trip and drove hours through a desert. We thought we knew what a desert was by this point. We did not know what a desert was. This is where you're staring off in the distance for what feels like thousands of miles. Yeah. Nothing but sand. We go out hours and we make our way to the first big city that we'd seen on the trip, Tayma, which is an ancient city, one that's mentioned in the Bible as we get into in this episode. But this clip that we're going to play you in particular is about the history of the city. They have this whole performance that they put on. It was crazy getting into the streets of Tayma.
It was. It is like going back in time. I remember saying to Laura, who was kind of our guide and co-presenter for that show, I remember saying to her, like, you could close your eyes and you would, it feels like you're going back in time. And she's like, open them. You are back in time. So with that, let's go. Here's Alola and the element of water. Bir Hadaj is at the center of the ancient settlement of Tayma, a maze of winding passageways and crumbling mud brick walls, still being excavated by archaeologists to this day. Palm trees rise from the ruins, framing a large open-air courtyard where a crowd has gathered to watch the show. So the whole reenactment and the parade is being done in Arabic, but I've got a translation device, so I'm going to attempt to try and translate some of what we're hearing. All right, the camels are coming out and the horses. Wow, this is massive parade and everyone's dressed in traditional dress and the horses are adorned in colorful decoration. The reenactment tells the story of the founding of Tayma here at the heart of the Incense Road, and Nabonidus, the last Babylonian king who lived here in the 6th century BC. It's incredibly dramatic. The first horses are coming past us now, followed by a train of bright camels with their finely woven rugs of red and orange and blue patterns. And then following that is a procession of women and men dressed traditionally, soldiers, pilgrims. Okay, and just behind, I can see there's lots happening actually just behind the main parade. There's a guy actually climbing up a date palm using the traditional method of strapping himself in. Let's listen into the play here. Yeah, I remember that moment so clearly. It's one of those travel moments that's like really etched into my mind because when we arrived in Tayma, there's this, the ruins of the old city are just part of the city itself and they're still excavating it. But within this old city, this incredible like parade and performance just like sprung up out of nowhere. And it was so colorful and dramatic and unexpected.
The scale of it, there was hundreds of people involved in this thing. Yeah. And it's a performance that you're part of it.
You're
walking with them. You're going into these places and the performance continues and you're like, am I in a show right now or am I just seeing life of the past?
I love it. And actually that was one of my favorite moments of the whole trip was when we kind of gone into this old citadel and there was like a play happening as we walked through it.
Yeah.
And then we came out and there was this like troupe of sword dancers drumming and dancing and clanking swords. And it was just like, yeah, this is what travel's all about, these moments right here. So it was beautiful. And just to set the scene a little bit more, if you haven't checked out the first 2 episodes of Alola, the series is called The Elements of Alola because what we wanted to do was to explore this place through the lens of different elements, water, earth, air. And it just feels like that kind of elemental place, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's something we explore in the episode, that this idea of like water as an element of community.
Yeah.
Like an oasis. What brings people together? That's like the whole point of the story, is that this place that the water brings everybody together. It's been bringing travelers together for thousands of years.
Yep.
And that's water.
And and the thing is, like, when you think of an oasis, you think of a desert and you think of these springs underground that grow these palm trees, and you think that it stops with the palm trees. But as we were exploring it, what we realized is no, that's just the start, because with that fertile land comes people. With people comes culture and community and art and music and all those other things.
And eventually, travel writers.
Yeah, eventually.
Eventually.
Oh, if only they knew 200,000 years ago, because that's how long it goes back. So I really urge you guys to check that out. It's the last in our series so far. We're going to go back, we hope.
So far.
We hope we're going to go back and do some more.
There are more elements to explore.
There's one more. It's fire.
At least one.
At least one. What other elements do you think we could add?
Oh, there's a lot of disagreement.
Traditionally,
about
there's
this.
4.
Plasma.
Plasma? The element of plasma? As in like plasma screen? So I hope that, we're going to go back and do more. It is one of those places, we always talk about in this show about exploring places that are a little undiscovered and maybe that people haven't been there a lot before, and opening your mind to new cultures and new ideas. And this is what Alola is all about.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll say about that is just like, this is a place where people have been traveling there for thousands of years.
Yeah.
It's reopened recently, but you're not new. You just feel very new.
You
and
feel
that's what
new.
makes it exciting.
Yeah, but there's that vibe of welcome, which is beautiful. Okay, so let's go into our second clip we're going to share today. Leading on from the story I was telling you earlier, actually, about sharks and me being scared.
Dun-dun.
Dun-dun. Dun-dun, 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 dun-dun. Anyway. Can you swim? I can't even swim in a pool. If I accidentally hum that to myself while I'm trying to swim in a pool, I get a little bit freaked out.
That's understandable. John Williams has that power over people.
It's scary even then. It's like you have this affiliation with it.
But that's the real contrast, isn't it? Because this raw respect and fear of sharks versus, we need this creature to be the predator of the seas, to keep all of our ecology in order. They're really important, and that's something that your guest is going to dig into heavily.
So this is an episode going way back. This is I think my fifth
Armchair
episode.
Throwback.
Yeah, so be gentle, people on the production. I was doing it all in my cupboard. But it's all about the story. It's about a trip that my friend, the very good award-winning travel writer James Stewart, did to experience what is known as the Everest of cage dives. How cool does that sound?
That's a great title. I'm assuming it's Everest in the other direction.
Yeah, right. And the reason for that is that most cage dives happen on the surface, right? But the surface is where the great white sharks feed.
Yeah, just eat. Yeah.
But where they live is on the ocean floor.
To see them a whole different way.
So the Everest of cage dives is that cage drops all the way down. And he does this in the place where there are more great white sharks than anywhere else in the world. So this is James Stewart describing what it's like to be there in the cage as it slowly drops further and further down.
And I have to be honest, everything starts screaming in your head, this cannot be a good idea, even though you know you're in a cage. Because that cold water comes over your feet as you're lowering into the water, and then it comes up your legs, and it seeps up over your torso, then over your chest, and then it covers your face, and you're dropping down. And then you can just see all the sharks there above you, and as you're falling down through the water, they just come over the top of you, and it's these white bellies, ghost white bellies, coming over through the sort of almost splintered sunshine coming down through the water, and you're dropping further and further, deeper and deeper down. It almost strips you back to yourself, because there is no escape. We now have 7 sharks around you, and there is no way in God's earth you could pay me enough money to try attempt getting out of this cage and then swimming back to the surface. It's just not going to happen.
All right, so I got to just give you a little bit more background on it, because the thing that makes this story really cool is it's all about this guy called Rodney Fox, who ended up being the inspiration for Jaws, the movie.
Yeah, Spielberg just literally called him up.
Yeah.
And was like, tell me about the sharks.
And it's this incredible 360 story. Anyway, I don't want to spoil it, but it begins with the most horrific, terrifying great white shark attack you'll ever hear.
Yeah.
And it's described in detail in this episode. So you got to listen to hear it. But the moment that has stayed with me forever since hearing it, can you imagine, right? You've already been attacked.
Yeah.
You've come up to the surface so that you know there is a great white shark somewhere underneath you.
Yeah, they're just around you.
You're bleeding. You look down under the water to see where it is, and what you see is a gaping jaw cruising up about to eat you.
That's so intense.
It's so intense.
I could see that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And that's how Steven Spielberg ended up making the scariest movie of all time.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So it's a great, great story. Have you, I shared a shark experience with you. Have you had any shark experiences?
Nothing like that. I was on a turtle swimming experience once, And they had like a separation divider down in the bay. Yeah. And there was like some type of shark swimming on the other side. I like to think of myself as a tough person. I still am inspired by what you just said to get down in a shark cage someday.
Yeah.
But just even the idea of swimming underwater on the same, it rattled me to my core.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
No, it does.
But they're such incredible creatures.
They are. Yeah. They're incredible creatures.
Vital.
And so it's a great episode. It's one of my favorites. James Stewart's a good mate of mine, and he's a lot of fun to hang out with. So I think you guys are really going to like that. We have a bunch of other episodes as well. I don't want to go into that too much because we'll keep some of those as a surprise. But this is December. It's holiday season. So we've got a Christmas special, of course.
In a sense.
Only a name, really.
Yeah, only a name. We're going to head over to Christmas Island.
How cheery does that sound?
It sounds cheery, but is it really related to Christmas?
Where is it, Jason? Is it in the North Pole?
Oh, no. It's about as far from that as you could possibly get.
So Christmas Island is one of the most remote islands in the world. It's more than 200 miles off the coast of Jakarta in Indonesia. Indonesia's, by the way, on my bucket list to go to. We've had a bunch of people on the show. Many of them cite Indonesia as one of their most incredible places to visit in your life. So this would be this would be a great combo. You could go to Indonesia, see some Komodo dragons. That's what I want to do in Indonesia.
Ooh.
And from there, you can take about an hour flight and end up in Christmas Island. Why is it called Christmas Island, Jason?
Well, not that it has anything to do with Santa. I'm sure Santa visits there just as he does everywhere else. But in this case, it was named Christmas Island because it was discovered in the 1600s, I want to say, on Christmas Day, which not a great naming scheme. It's happened elsewhere. But
Easter Island?
Yeah, that works. But what if America was just called, I don't know, March 3rd? It doesn't work.
I would like that.
You think so?
And Canada could be March 4th.
Yeah,
and, Mexico can be March 2nd. We just work upwards.
Yeah.
How many would we be able to get? 365? We probably would. There's less countries than that.
Slightly.
But not if you include all the little islands and whatnot.
No.
So
I think we have to branch out, and I'm glad we have.
I guess we're not going to reverse the naming scheme. Anyway, so what this island is famous for isn't Santa Claus. It's famous for a wildlife phenomenon that is, well, David Attenborough has described it as one of the greatest that he's ever experienced.
He sold me there.
He knows a thing or two about this sort of thing.
A couple things, yeah.
So here's the travel journalist Martin Symington describing the red crab migration.
On this island, nobody knows for sure, there are about 50 million of these great big bright red crabs. There's so much mystery about these crabs. For example, no one has been able to work out why these endemic Christmas Island red crabs are there. Nobody knows why. Their intense color. Nobody knows what advantage is given to these creatures by having their extraordinary bright red, intense color in evolutionary terms. And most of all, nobody can understand how they are able to be attuned to so many parts of the climatic conditions coming together, because every year, and it's not the same every year because it's a coming together of climate and tide, land crabs will leave their burrows in the center of the island, and all females that is, will make their way down in a torrent of red crab down to the beaches where they lay their eggs in the ocean. And then they scuttle back. And then the larvae hatch in the ocean, and about 3 to 4 weeks after they were laid, they come back onto the land, metamorphose into land crabs, and back they go up into the interior of the island.
So what about that then, Jason? Can you even picture what 50 million crabs look like?
I cannot.
50 million, by the way, is just about the population of the UK. Right?
So every single British person in existence.
Substitute them for a crab. Then put them on an island where currently 2,000 people live.
I mean, it's just got to be a sight just for the scale of it spreading across this pretty small island.
I've seen pictures of it. It's absolutely nuts. But that, that's part of it. But for me, Like I've been to some islands in the South Pacific, some places in the mountains, but there's something about being in the ocean, in the middle of the ocean, and being like totally remote like that, which just feels like beyond seeing the crabs or whatever wildlife. There is a lot of cool stuff there as well. Just that remoteness feels amazing. I'm really curious of just that like feeling of true remoteness, like just no one around. Have you ever experienced anything like that?
Well, I don't think anyone is truly remote.
No.
I mean, like if you go in any direction, there's always someone out there.
Yeah.
But you can feel like one of the most remote times that I've ever felt was being at a dinosaur dig site in South Dakota. And it was just purely because like you drive a couple hours out and you hit the last town and you grab some supplies, drive a couple hours past that, grab gas for the last time possible, drive a couple hours past that.
Yep.
And you feel remote. You're out of cell service. That might be the definition of remote for a lot of people. It's just like you've gone past cell service. You've gone past the AAA being able to rescue you.
Yeah.
That feels remote.
Yeah.
But is it really?
I mean, well, the thing is, you are always still connected, aren't you? Like,
Whether it's GPS or cell phone or just people over the horizon. There's ships everywhere. There's planes. There's everywhere. Satellites. Everywhere. Yeah. You know, one of the things I wanted to do a story about. So when we were up in Estes Park doing one of our very first documentaries, we got interested in this idea of sound because there's people doing sound studies there. Yeah.
And just, trying to think about national parks as places that
a preservation of sound
as well as land. Exactly. And like how far you have to go to actually get pure sound. It's almost impossible.
Yep.
So I think there is something very unique and special that most of us never experience about being that remote, hundreds of miles from the nearest landmass in this tiny little dot in the middle of the Indian Ocean, surrounded by nothing but blue. I haven't really experienced anything like that. I was once on this island called El Hierro, which is part of the Canary Islands, which are, people in the UK will know the Canary Islands for Tenerife and places like that, which are very popular to go. They're owned by Spain. They're Spanish islands, but they're off the coast of Africa. And El Hierro is one of those where no one goes, but there's this place, this lookout, and Christopher Columbus was actually there, back in the day, and stood on this lookout and looked out across to the Americas before he left. And I stood there too, and I looked out, and you see this ocean just going for, it's going for thousands of miles. And all you can see, your periphery vision everywhere is just this blue, this like deepening dark blue going to the horizon, extending to the horizon and disappearing. And there's like literally nothing else. And I got a little sense of the vastness of it, the vastness of the ocean, which we never really experience,
That and the impetuousness of just being like, I can cross that.
Right?
I can do that.
Yeah, exactly. I would love that about Christmas Island. I would love to, experience anything that David Attenborough said was cool. There's lots of other great stuff there. Combine it with Indonesia. It's a really fun episode. And it's called Christmas, and it's Christmas. So.
Technically Christmas. The crabs are red. That's Christmassy. The date that it was founded on.
The jungle's green. The crabs are red.
Perfect.
So what do you think came first then? Red crabs or Santa?
I'm going to go with the crabs on this one. I think the crabs have been around a lot longer than Santa Claus. I'm sorry.
Wrong. Santa is wrong. Santa is an eternal being.
My bad.
Okay, so what are we going to close up with today, Jason?
We're going to a remote canyon just off the beaten track in Palm Springs, and we're meeting with a guy named John Preckwinkle, and he is a very special dude because the Agua Caliente band of Kuya Indians who occupied that region since, as they say, time immemorial, they looked to these canyons for healing waters, which is a big part of this episode that we dig into. And there's something that this tribe did in particular that is so unique, and it's not something a lot of people get to experience, but it was a way of sharing grief. It was a way of sharing stories and communicating with their tribe. And it's so special, but he was willing to sing for us in this canyon. So you're going to sit with us in this canyon. You're going to listen to the animals around us. You're going to listen to the creek that's just burbling below us and the echo of his voice off the trees around us. And you're going to hear something really, really unique.
So we're just going to close out with that. We're going to leave this for you. It's beautiful, and it's John singing for us and for you. And I just want to say thank you so much for listening to this. And thank you, Jason. These episodes are so much fun to do together. I'm really excited about everything that's coming up in December. We got loads more. It's going to be a great month. And happy holidays. Enjoy this beautiful piece of birdsong. Okay, now we got to do the credits, Jason. And we've done like soul music and hip hop. All right. I don't know what we're going to do. So I'm just going to read it. All right. So we're just going to do it. I'm just going to read it. Armchair Explorer is produced by Armchair Productions.
No.
Aaron Millar is me, and I wrote and presented the show along with Jason Paton, our producer. Charles Tyree did the audio editing and sound design. Our theme music is by the artist Sweet Chat. Follow us on social medias at Armchair Explorer Podcast. Let's go!
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Travel doesn't always go to plan, and that's where the best stories live. Welcome to the Winging It Travel podcast, where you don't just hear about travel, you feel it. I'm James Hammond, and I'm podcasting my own journeys from the road, sharing immersive soundscape episodes that drop you right into the moment, from busy streets to remote mountains. Along the way, I sit down with local people and fellow travelers to tell honest stories about life, culture, and chase an adventure beyond the routine. No filters, no fake perfection, just stories to tell, tips to share, and experiences to inspire. Search Winging It Travel Podcast on any podcast app, and let's wing it.
Hi, I'm Mike Siegel, and man, oh man, do I love talking about travel. You think I'd get enough of it touring the world as a stand-up comedian, or just going off on my own personal adventures around the world? No, when I get home, I still have to talk about it. That's how much I love travel. So every week I sit down with a friend, a travel expert, influencer, expat, or anyone from any walk of life who shares my passion for travel. So if you want to hear a fun, casual, off-the-cuff chat about travel from people who love it, listen to the Travel Tales podcast with me, Mike Siegel, wherever you get your podcasts.